Hello, T. You are late. That's okay.
I am so sorry. Oh my God. Yeah, time always gets away from me like that.
I know, and that's perfectly all right. So, are you ready?
I am. Can you hold on just a second? I have a box of crackers here because earlier when we talked, I said I was going to get something to eat and I got sidetracked once again. So is my
Sure.
sound okay? Because Louis actually hooked up his microphone.
So, you're going to eat crackers on a podcast?
Well, no, I'm just going to do it while I'm listening.
Okay. You can mute while you crunch.
Oh, can I really?
Of course.
Okay.
But I'm
Oh, I
joking.
see it.
If you make
Hmm?
crunching sounds, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay, well, I will make sure I mute because that would drive me crazy. Okay, hi.
So, we're
Hi
beginning.
there. Yes.
Who are you really?
Well, who I really am is a mother of three, of all age groups. I have a 12-year-old and a 19-year-old and a 30-year-old. And I have a 4-year-old little min pin who is the most spoiled little dog and totally just crazy. And then I have a 5-year-old tuxedo, black and white, and I think she's about 9 now, muted calico. So that is our household, plus my husband. So that's
Oh,
me. And I am the niece of the aunt S.
okay. So, I'm S, the aunt, and I really appreciate you doing this, Tanya. T, sorry.
Woo, you did it again.
I did. Uh, there are a lot of Tanyas in the world, so we won't panic at this point.
Okay.
The reason we're doing this is because for a long while now, I've been working on a book. I'm a college professor, but don't expect me to be smart about everything. I'm just smart about a few things. And I've been working on a book, and about 200 pages in, I got insecure and stopped working on it. So I'm hoping that I can get some feedback and maybe motivate me to finish the book if it's worth finishing. Hello, T. You are late. That's okay.
I am so sorry. Oh my God. Yeah, time always gets away from me like that.
I know, and that's perfectly all right. So, are you ready?
I am. Can you hold on just a second? I have a box of crackers here because earlier when we talked, I said I was going to get something to eat and I got sidetracked once again. So is my
Sure.
sound okay? Because Louis actually hooked up his microphone.
So, you're going to eat crackers on a podcast?
Well, no, I'm just going to do it while I'm listening.
Okay. You can mute while you crunch.
Oh, can I really?
Of course.
Okay.
But I'm
Oh, I
joking.
see it.
If you make
Hmm?
crunching sounds, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay, well, I will make sure I mute because that would drive me crazy. Okay, hi.
So, we're
Hi
beginning.
there. Yes.
Who are you really?
Well, who I really am is a mother of three, of all age groups. I have a 12-year-old and a 19-year-old and a 30-year-old. And I have a 4-year-old little min pin who is the most spoiled little dog and totally just crazy. And then I have a 5-year-old tuxedo, black and white, and I think she's about 9 now, muted calico. So that is our household, plus my husband. So that's
Oh,
me. And I am the niece of the aunt S.
okay. So, I'm S, the aunt, and I really appreciate you doing this, Tanya. T, sorry.
Woo, you did it again.
I did. There are a lot of Tanyas in the world, so we won't panic at this point. The reason we're doing this is because for a long while now, I've been working on a book. I'm a college professor, but don't expect me to be smart about everything. I'm just smart about a few things. And I've been working on a book, and about 200 pages in, I got insecure and stopped working on it. So I'm hoping that I can get some feedback and maybe motivate me to finish the book if it's worth finishing. So what I'm going to do is read excerpts from one of my chapters and also add some new journal articles that I've been reading recently. And the chapter's entitled People and Their Pets. I thought about calling it Pets and Their Humans, but it really is a focus on the characteristics of people who have pets rather than on the animals themselves. So it begins with a caveat. Today, many animal lovers prefer to refer to themselves as pet guardians rather than pet owners. Despite sharing this as a personal philosophy, the phrase pet owner will be used here to discuss the relevant research about human-animal bonds, because that's the way it appears in the literature. Apologies to anyone who is uncomfortable with this. So, T,
Yes.
how do you feel about Phoebe? Do you mind being called her owner, or do you think of yourself as her guardian?
Well, I don't mind being called her owner because that's the norm, I think. But she's actually probably thinking she's our guardian. So, yes. No, I don't mind at all. But yeah, she's our little guardian doggy.
She is, actually.
Oh, my goodness.
So there's a growing literature of research regarding people and their companion animals. For instance, I have a brand new article published by Hoffman and Fine in 2021, teleworking with dogs and cats in the United States during COVID-19. And according to these researchers, most of their participants expressed a working location preference, with just over half indicating they preferred working from home and 40% saying that they preferred working from the office. And it turns out that having pets, dogs and cats, did not predict whether they preferred to work at the office or home. And they found that people with dogs did tend to go out and exercise more and socialize with more people compared to people with cats. And
Right.
that people who had both dogs and cats tended to report that they were distracted while working from home.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I've been working at home quite happily, actually, with multiple pets and feeling somewhat distracted, I admit. But I think it's great that they've already started doing research on this.
I agree. I also find it really surprising that there wasn't a preference between with dog owners or pet owners, to have working away from home or working from home. I would have guessed that people with pets would rather have, worked from home, but I know that like Amazon, for instance, over in Washington, where they have their head offices and everything, if I'm not mistaken, they bring their pets to work.
I would love that.
I know you would. Actually, I have to be one of the ones. If I brought, it depends. She surprises me, my little Phoebe. So I think that if I brought her to work, it would be total chaos. But I have taken her on vacation and she was amazing. It wasn't even her, she was, as long as everybody was together, she was great.
Yeah, just doesn't like losing one of her peoples.
No, she does not. It just, she can't stand it.
I've taken Haney, my Irish Wolfhound, into campus a few times and everybody loves her. But I do know that there are some people who are afraid of dogs who work there. And a large dog is more frightening, however sweet she is.
Yeah, and with Haney, I don't think she tends to distract other people by doing anything. People are just drawn to her because she's so big and so sweet, and those eyes are so loving.
They are loving. That's my girl.
Yes. So interesting on that article, huh?
Yeah. But what I also have are some other types of research regarding pets that I collected recently. I have one that shows that people who are being prescribed antidepressant drugs, when they are also adopting pets, tend to show better outcomes than people who do not adopt pets while being prescribed those drugs.
Really?
Yeah, and I love this paper because you read a lot of journal articles where people with pets tend to be happy, happy, happy. And this is one where the clients were actually told to adopt a pet
Right.
time they were prescribed the drug. I mean, it was
Right.
real experiment, and it was shown to be more effective as a treatment, as a form of therapy.
Nice. That is
Cool.
that's, I mean, a very long commitment, but I guess if you're depressed or, you need antidepressant, that's long-term as well.
Yeah, and pets do provide social support. Mine do.
Hmm.
All right, here's another. This is a journal article by Gerelman et al., published in 2018. And what happened was that they took dogs to campus during final exams, college campus, and they tested people's blood pressure before and after petting the dog. The dog was trained in animal assistance, and they found that it had a beneficial effect and lowered student stress levels during exams.
Really?
I know. And
Wow.
still, I take Haney to campus even when I'm administering final exams.
That's pretty amazing. And that happens. Well, when I was leaving Walmart the other day, you or I actually had a tent set up with campus security, and they were just making their presence known in the community, but they had, I guess, their work doggies, which one of them was a German Shepherd and the other was a very old, sweet, heavy black lab. And as I was leaving Walmart, because Walmart is a tiny bit stressful when you're trying to get things done, stay on focused on what you're there for, and then get home to make dinner. So, I was in my little mode of rushing out to go home, and I stopped, and this little sweet black lab, I wish I remembered his name, but I, asked, of course, if it was okay if I pet him, and I did. And, it just, I thought, oh, this will be nice. I can give him some attention because everybody seems to be giving the little young German Shepherd attention. Anyways, I felt so good after petting him, his whole neck, I mean, it was just, I didn't even realize that I could feel any better just because, I was done shopping. I was on my way home, but it made me happy.
Your blood pressure.
Yes, it probably did. Yeah.
So researchers have also looked at LGBTQ plus people's mental health and pets. And this is a paper by Schmitz et al., published in 2021. And of course, sexual orientation can be associated with stigma and higher stress levels. And so the researchers were looking at whether or not having pets was a successful coping strategy and whether it promoted resilience. And of course it did.
Really?
But the thing that I liked was that they mentioned at the end that you need to be careful about categorizing people, clumping them together in one group, that they're probably different types of stressors and different levels of stress associated with different sexual orientations. And I love the acknowledgement of that.
That's interesting.
Here's another. This one is at how religion predicts pet ownership in the United States, published in 2020 by Perry et al. And basically what they found was that people who have frequent worship attendance tend to have fewer pets. And that is particularly true for evangelical Christians who tend not to own cats.
So the evangelical Christians tended not to own animals, but especially cats.
Yes.
Wow. Ooh, I wonder what they're associating kittens with.
I don't know, but there are a lot of negative associations. associations with cats. I guess they're
Right.
associations as their familiars and
Yeah.
all of that. And I think even now in the literature, cats get stigmatized, as you'll see.
Oh,
Cats
yeah. And I'm wondering also because, with and this podcast and your paper is not about religion, it's about pets. But, religion is all about it's just to obey. And you know how cats just do not, and dogs do, some dogs.
Yeah. Okay. I see the point. Not
Yeah,
to know religions, but yeah. Yeah. I
right.
see
Yeah.
the independence of them.
Ooh.
They're in control of their own wills, their own lives.
Mhm.
That's my home, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
In a 2016 study published in Anthrozoos, Bow and Schreier reported that pet owners are more satisfied with their lives than not pet owners. No surprise there. Based on 263 participants responding to an online survey. More interesting, dog owners were higher on measures of well-being, example, high in positive emotions and low in negative emotions compared to cat owners. So people who own dogs tend to be happier than people who own cats.
See, this is why you need both. It kind of neutralizes everything and you're back to where you started. I'm just joking.
Okay, I get
Joking.
Yeah. You also
That
have
is
to,
cool.
which came first, are happy people adopting dogs rather than cats, or are people with dogs more apt to go outside and socialize? Which
Right.
Who knows?
I like the more apt to go outside and socialize actually. Because if you had, I think somebody that was like, what is that where you stay in the house all the time?
Agoraphobia.
Yes. And they would probably not want to commit to getting a pet just because of the fact that you would have to go outside with him.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, here's a bit more about cats. And this was a study that took place in New Zealand, published by Fraser et al. In 2020. And they were looking at pet owners and their animals, the types of animals. And I think the most interesting thing they found was that people with cats tend to have higher anxiety than people with dogs.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
And Elvers and LeVue, published 2019, found that it's the behavioral style of the cat that predicts owner satisfaction. So it's not that people with certain personality characteristics tend to be happy or less happy with cats as pets. It's that the behavior of the cat controls the whole. That when your cat is amiable, friendly, nice, people who live with those cats tend to be happier compared to when cats are demanding, in which case owner satisfaction drops.
I can imagine. Yes. Demanding cats. Ooh. They have a way of putting their dew paw up in your face.
Yep.
They demand something that you are, not ready to do at that time. They will be all over you to get it.
Yeah, that's my dippy cat, three-legged dippy cat for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's very demanding. Photo every Zoom session. I'm surprised he's not here now, to be honest.
Wow. Yeah, I don't have any of my little pets with me right now.
Haney's asleep on the floor, but that's about it.
There's Phoebe downstairs sleeping on the couch with, sitting next to her. Oop.
Okay, so next I wanted to talk about attachment theory, because from a theoretical perspective, scientists have used attachment theory to understand pet owner bonds. And according to attachment theory, the nature of our attachment to others in adulthood is related to our attachment bonds to caregivers in childhood. And attachment is traditionally assessed by means of the strange situation test, published by Ainsworth in 1970, in which an infant is separated and then reunited with the caregiver in combination with presentation of an unfamiliar person. So observations of children in these situations reveal whether they explore the new situation using the caregiver as a secure base and therefore appear to be securely attached to the caregiver, or whether the child is distressed, clingy, or lacking emotional expression. So I was wondering, how well known is the strange situation test? Have you heard it before?
I feel like a long time ago, maybe I've heard
Yeah.
of it when I was in class, but yeah, no, I was just imagining as you were speaking that this study happening. So
Yeah. So in a classic psychological study, Hazen and Shaver, 1987, showed that the nature of these attachments in infancy are comparable to our behaviors as adults in romantic relationships.
Mhm.
So the relationship with your caregivers in childhood can predict how successful you are in terms of romantic relationships. Yeah, the research has been criticized. Most research that is very well known does tend to get criticized, but this time because it lacks applicability across different cultures and socioeconomic groups.
Yeah.
But it has been used as a framework for understanding the pet owner bond, which is why we're interested in it.
Nice. Okay.
For instance, Zilcha Mano et al., 2012, asked pet owners to identify their life goals and indicate their confidence in whether they could achieve those goals under 3 conditions: with their pets present, just thinking about their pets, or with no reminder at all about their pets. For each condition, pet owners were asked to perform a difficult cognitive task while physiological measures were taken. The task was to identify words in common with 3 other words. For instance, the word common can be paired with sense, courtesy, and place. The researchers found that the physical presence of a pet, or even just thinking about the pet, was associated with more life goals reported, more confidence about attaining goals, and reduced blood pressure during the difficult cognitive task, compared to pets being physically and mentally absent. Interpreted in the context of attachment theory, these results suggest that our pets serve as safe havens and secure bases for those attached to them.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I mean, so they had a study where there's a group of people, and they were asked to do these cognitive kind of tasks, you said,
Yep.
and
Yep.
okay, so yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, so they're doing cognitive tasks, and how did that, because I lost a little bit there, how did that tie into the life goals kind of?
They were asked to think about their life goals,
Mhm.
think about whether they could achieve those goals, and
Right.
also, perform this cognitive task with their blood pressure being measured.
Oh,
And turns out that having your pets present, or even just thinking about them, made it so that people reported more life goals, were more confident about achieving those goals, and the blood pressure went down during a complex cognitive task.
oh my goodness, I get it now. I got you. Yes. Well, that's amazing. Yeah,
Right.
this is actually, yeah.
So back to the book.
Yeah.
Personal now. Like many other people, I am strongly attached to my pets, and they definitely serve as a secure base that can reduce my anxiety in difficult situations. For a few years, I served as the chairperson of my academic department, the ultimate nurturer position, during which time I discovered that my anxiety levels tended to increase just by standing in front of the elevator to go upstairs to my office. However, when I thought about Merlin, my rescued green-winged macaw, and touched my necklace made from his feathers, I breathed deeper, felt calmer, and experienced less anxiety. In fact, this became a useful intervention when some of the faculty in my department were being particularly difficult and annoying. Merlin may be a dangerous macaw who is inclined to bite, but thinking about him is far more calming than thinking about some of my faculty colleagues.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Merlin, he's got like a very powerful, strong beak, and I totally respect him. but it calms you, and that's amazing. Yeah, it's like your way of centering or something, or focusing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is very cool.
My blood pressure, most likely.
Yes.
Okay. There are also suggestions, Bagley and Gonsman 2005, that human personality types are predictably related to pet ownership. So this part of the book is based on the Keirsey temperaments, which suggests that there are 4 different types of temperaments. I'm going to read the characteristics of each type of temperament, and I want you to think about which one describes you.
No.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Artisan, creative, optimistic, wants to make an impact, adapts easily, intuitive, craving excitement, lives in the moment. Next is the guardian, responsible, respectable, focuses on facts, organized, desires belonging, cautious, and seeks stability. The idealist is compassionate, values relationships, is a team player, is a natural communicator, has a great imagination, is authentic and a helpless romantic. Lastly, the rational person is logical, skeptical, calm and balanced, values knowledge and facts, strives to be the best, is innovative and independent. So which one are you, T?
You know, as soon as you said the artisan's characteristics, I kind of embraced them because I could relate so much to each and every one of them. Other than the seeks excitement, because I think as we age, the need for excitement, I think, lessens. But there were a couple things here and there, but the artisan definitely was the one that I connected most to.
That nailed it for me. I think you are an artisan.
Yes. And do you know what I think you are?
Go for it.
I think, because as soon as I heard the characteristics of the guardian, that is you to a T. It's just amazing. This Keirsey thing that you said it was not totally accepted everywhere.
No.
Oh, interesting. Well, they've got their characteristics together.
Not sure how much I need to belong, but maybe it's something unconscious for me. But yeah, definitely responsible. I focus on facts, yada, yada, yada. That's me.
Yeah. I have a lot of what ifs in my life. So,
all right. So,
this is why we're good.
So, what they did relating those temperament types to pet ownership, they found that idealists, neither one of us were idealists who are hopeless romantics, tended to have stronger attachments to their pets than the other types of temperaments.
I wonder if we know of any idealists to know that this is true.
I don't think I've ever associated with an idealist.
I don't think so either.
I'm not biased.
What the heck? Jeez. Interesting. Okay, that's neat.
But I think I'm attached to my pets. I'm sorry. I just am.
I think I am too.
Okay, so next. Also continuing the discussion of pets and people's personality characteristics. Reeve and Delgado 2015 investigated the relationship between pet ownership and the big 5 personality traits. And those are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Everybody remembers it by Ocean, OCEAN. And of course, those have been studied extensively by McRae and Costa, including 2008. But people who self-identify as dog people, according to this, tend to be more extroverted and agreeable than cat people who tend to have higher neuroticism.
Well, that is really funny because I don't think I'm very agreeable sometimes. And no, it's all about, let me put myself in that situation. But that I find that interesting that you said the extroverted, which I'm introverted, the extroverts and accepting personality types are closer or have closer attachments to their dogs than, say, the neurotic type, which I embrace that as well.
All right, you're sort of combining the last two research studies. The
Okay.
research on temperaments
Uh-huh.
found that idealists have stronger attachments to their pets. Looking at the big five personality characteristics,
Mm-hmm.
extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, openness, and people who have dogs tend to be more extroverted and agreeable.
Okay.
Cat people who tend to have higher neuroticism.
I see where I did put those two together. I see.
Can't integrate. Don't integrate.
Okay, now we've got that straight. Thank you very much.
All right. So are cat people really more neurotic than dog people?
That depends on what is meant by neurotic, because I think there are certain things that they just shouldn't have a label. It's just what you are, you know. But I know my own, I've always had dogs growing up, and I have in the past probably 10 years had cats. Yeah, Matilda. So they have there's just something that different that you get out of having a cat. And if it is satisfying something, some of my, is it neuroses? is that a word? Then okay, so then I think that it might have some legitimacy.
Okay.
Maybe.
I don't know. I always like to see replications of studies, and
Yeah.
studies I'm citing have not been replicated.
That is your guardian coming out.
Yeah, it is. But I think also you can bring in the point about dogs making you have to go outside and socialize more.
True.
And again, who knows which comes first?
Right.
But let's not insult all the cat owners in the world. One of my aunts had so many cats, she wouldn't tell you how many it was.
Really?
It's more than a dozen.
Oh, wow. Cat owners are very special, actually.
And I wouldn't view her as neurotic.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing. It's just, another label.
Yes.
Know all the details, though. But anyways, no, I just, we embrace everybody. So.
All right. So here's more research.
Uh-oh. Sorry. Let me turn off my video.
What?
Oh, it's my daughter, Sydney. Can you hold on just a second and let me tell her that I can't talk right now? Hold on. Let me turn off my phone. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. There we go. Message. Can I call you later? I love this messaging ability that you can actually just push a button and a whole message goes out and you don't even have to type. Okay. I think we're good.
I do teaching sometimes, to be honest. I'll be giving a lecture to hundreds of students and get a phone call.
Right.
And that's a fast way of dealing with it.
Okay.
All right. So researchers have demonstrated a pet enhancement effect, perhaps comparable to the self-enhancement biases that are reliably shown for most people who view themselves, their friends, and the objects they own as better than those associated with others. And this is published by L. Aleli et al. 2006. Do you have you heard of the self-enhancement effect?
No.
It basically, and it's powerful. You can demonstrate it pretty easily. It occurs because we tend to view everything associated with ourselves more positively than things associated with other people. So my car, my house, even my cleaning products are better than yours.
Wow.
And I actually did some research early in my career where I looked at how people like letters of the alphabet, and it turns out they really, really like the first letters of their names.
Interesting. T. But I like S, I have to say, because S is, it's so wiggly. See, you get the wiggly letter. Sorry. Okay.
I like S better too.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it.
So the self-enhancement effect has been shown to also be true for our pets. I'm on Facebook, of course, and I'm in a Irish Wolfhound Facebook group. and a few of those actually.
Right.
But people are always saying Irish Wolfhounds are the very best dogs. And
Mhm.
most of us, many of us, do tend to think that our dog types are the best. I mean, you've got Queen Elizabeth, who's hooked on corgis, right?
Right.
And people who have mixed breeds think mixed breeds are the best quite often.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
What about you and your mini pin, your little miniature pincher?
Well, she is.
Is she the
So,
best breed?
yeah. Well, she is, yes, the most lovable dog. But, you know, I don't want to say every single min pin would be as amazing as my little girl. So, yeah. Yeah, I can't say that they're the best breed because she is so funny and wonderful, and I can't imagine any other dog being as good as her. How about that? So I am putting everything about her because she's mine, or we belong, instead of her whole breed. Yeah.
I got you. So if you were to get another dog, would it have to be a mini pin?
I
Or would
think
it
that would be really hard to have two min pins because they're so absolutely crazy. But I have read that if I were to get another dog, there's 3 other breeds that min pins get along with. And your Irish Wolfhound is one of them because she's so laid back and min pins are so edgy and kind of like, wanting to be the boss, the king of the toys and all that stuff. So yeah, no, and I couldn't get an Irish Wolfhound for PB. So I'm happy that they're cousins, they can visit when they need to.
what? You don't want to live with someone as wonderful and large as Haney baby?
Well, I've got 2 kids and my grandson a lot of times, and 2 of my 19-year-olds adult size, my husband, of course, myself, and then 2 little boys that are getting to be adult size, and Phoebe and 2 cats. I think that we can't fit anymore, because Haney is bigger. She's still bigger than the kids, I think. Yeah, when
Yeah,
she stands up, definitely, yeah. She is
she
huge.
weighs more.
And she's getting a little hefty on the hips.
I know. I'm over.
But I love it because it is so mushy. So anyway, yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop talking about Haney, but I'm looking right at her face and she's so cute.
You mock her jelly rolls.
And her little hips, I just love them. But my little dog looks like her little tiny head to her little fat body. I think she would definitely need to go on a diet for her little tiny self. She is so heavy.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't like Haney on a diet.
No, Haney doesn't like Haney
It'd
on
be
a
hard.
diet. She enjoys.
Yeah, she has a little sausage body, your mini pin.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess so do I sometimes, don't I?
Well, so do I guess.
Hmm.
All right, let's get off the topic of our weight.
Okay.
Okay. Intriguingly, these same researchers also investigated the effects of pet self-similarity on measures of well-being.
God, we've already talked about. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry.
Pictures of pet owners and their purebred dogs could be matched for physical appearance by unfamiliar judges. So basically, you could take pictures of people's purebred dogs, pictures of the people, and then people who don't know them can put them together and match them up because we look like our pets.
You know what? And this is nothing that was planned because, well, Haney was planned. Phoebe was not planned. But looking at your cover picture with you and Haney, your hair, your coloring, and just your eyes even. I never realized that, but yeah, you guys are kind of similar looking. Whereas I guess with my little girl, because my hair I color it, so it tends to fade, and me and we're like the same color. And there's probably others, but I'm like the body style and stuff. But yeah, that's funny because that's what I
never noticed I looked like Haney before taking that picture.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Ask, my tongue is out and I'm drooling too, of course.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Research also showed that females view dogs more favorably when there is a match between their own hairstyles and the dog's appearances. For example, floppy-eared dogs were preferred by females with long hair.
See that?
that we prefer dogs that look like us.
Well, Phoebe has floppy ears. But I'm trying to think of all the dogs I've loved before. And you know what? I think most of them, most of them are floppy-eared dogs. So maybe there's something about that too.
Do you wish you could grow your hair longer?
Yes, but yeah, my hair actually, the longer I grow it, the worse, my ends just can't tolerate long periods of time without cuts.
Yeah, well, I just ignore my split ends and it grows. So
There you go.
hairdresser is always very upset. Okay. Research therefore investigated similarities in personality characteristics between pets and their owners, showing that well-being was greater when there was a significant match between owner and pet on a variety of personality characteristics. For example, whether they were loyal, amusing, happy, clever, good-natured, boring, annoying, lazy, selfish, and hostile. So what that means is that when there's a match between your personality characteristics and your pets, then your sense of well-being is greater. So let me ask you, are you and or Phoebe loyal?
Oh God, yes. Both of us are very loyal.
Are you amusing?
I know Phoebe is, and people tell me that I can be, which is usually based on me tripping over nothing and stuff. So yeah, yeah, no. A little bit clumsy. Happy, definitely.
Both of y'all?
Oh yeah. Phoebe's happy
Clever?
when everybody's, and her pack is settled.
Yeah. Yes, all her people with her. Are you clever?
Clever. I want to say what seems to be, and this is funny because you're just making me think about this, what seems to be, my gosh, this dog has no sense. She's actually really clever. And I think people see me like that too, wow, she has no sense. But I'm not saying I'm clever, but
I would have, yes, definitely.
No, I don't want to say I'm clever, but there's usually more than just, me falling over myself going on. So
Are you both natured?
Are we both what?
Good natured.
Oh, well, yes. Now this one, I can't say, Phoebe, it takes her a while to be, what is that called? Socialized. So, and that happens all the time. So she'll be socialized and used to doing things. But then when you stop, like taking her into public and to the stores and, with other people and stuff, she kind of reverts. Ooh, I do that too. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. I'm sorry, that was a horrible laugh, but I just had another light bulb there. Interesting.
Are y'all boring?
Oh gosh, no. No.
Annoying? Are you annoying?
Yes, both of us are annoying.
I'm not going to argue.
I am. Seriously, not intentionally, and that's why, I know she's not intentionally annoying. She's just, I really know this, yes.
You have insight into her little person.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't even believe this. Yeah, this is funny.
Are y'all lazy?
Can be. I can be actually if I've, it's like a little mental shutdown. I don't want to do anything, or yeah.
Are you selfish?
Selfish. I want to say territorial.
Are you both hostile or neither?
No, we're not hostile. Neither of us are hostile. No.
Well, it sounds like you have a good match with Phoebe.
And that is so weird. Can we go through these with you? I wish I had that list.
All right. Haney and me. Yes. Loyal?
Yes.
Amusing?
Oh gosh, yes. Well, you know what? You're cute. She is, you have to, you went with her, you have to get her to the point. She's very calm all the time, which you are too. Okay.
Amusing?
Yes. Nice. Yes. Happy? Yes.
Clever?
Yes, definitely. And you know what? It's funny because you guys aren't bouncy, but you're happy. So it's funny that even both of you being happy, both of me and Phoebe being happy. It's like you even have the same type of, you know, the way you walk around happy is kind of identical. Huh.
Y'all are bouncy happy and we're
Yeah. Yeah.
that it's a good match for both of us.
Yeah.
Good natured,
Yes.
boring,
Boring, no.
annoying.
Let
Oh,
me
come
think.
on, you know I am.
Actually, no. It's so annoying that you're not annoying because that's what I try to get out of everything. No, it's actually in Amy's not annoying either. You know, it's like she's hi and let me step and sit down here, you know, and be cute. So yeah, gosh.
Are we lazy? Selfish?
No. I don't know about Haney because I'm not sure if she's, I don't know anything about, I know you're not lazy. I'm assuming then Haney's not because of all this comparison thing, but um selfish, no, but territorial, yeah.
Okay. Last one. Hostile. I get hostile.
Well, you have
Okay.
the ability to get hostile, just as your little poopy poochie does. Yeah, so you don't walk around in a, you know, being hostile. But if somebody pushes you like into a corner or you have just had enough, just like your Irish Wolfhound, which I had no idea this was coming, you know, I was just playing with her toy just to get a reaction because I know how Phoebe is, but she's very calm and laid back until she had enough. And then her mouth went right on my belly. Didn't even, you know, didn't use any pressure or anything, but it was like, yes, I can disembowel you if I want to. I'm not choosing not to, but I could, you know, and then, you know, I thought, wow.
That's my little girl.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to push you in a corner or
Yeah.
get you to that point. So yeah, I never did that again.
But we can restrain ourselves even at that point.
Yeah, she did a good job. I have never seen a dog do that, you know.
Because
I mean,
I've trained her so she knows what's mine is mine and what's hers is hers.
right.
Except for which she's always stealing. But you were playing with one of her toys and you were acting as if it was yours, and she thought that was a violation of house rules.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what I think happened. Poor little girl.
I know, you weren't obeying the house rules.
Oh my
Been
goodness.
raised as a puppy to know what's mine is mine and what's hers is won't mess with her.
Right. Yeah. And you told me what was the little, I got her so frustrated that night. And I wasn't teasing her, but I was playing with what I thought was playing with her little toy. And didn't you say after I left that night, she just ripped up one of her little favorite toys that she had?
Yeah, it was her favorite toy that she had from babyhood. It was
Oh my gosh.
a squeaky ball.
Oh
And
gee.
she had very carefully not destroyed it like she destroyed all her other toys.
Yeah.
I think she punished herself for losing it slightly with you.
Uh, I'm hoping it wasn't because I frustrated her so much, but she,
Oh,
you know, because that's how I would be, and that's how Phoebe would be, totally after the fact, irritated and something. So, but no, probably not with Haney. She's probably feeling like, oh,
feeling guilty about her little reaction to you. It was, I mean, she never would hurt you, but she did
no.
threaten.
Mhm.
And that's what
Yeah, 'cause
our
in-
did.
it-
They would in war disembowel people.
yeah, and she did it without, you know, I mean, there was no
Pressure. She
right.
pushed against
Yeah.
you with
She just
fighting.
kind of posed. It was kind of like a pose that she did that I was shocked with. But you know what? It got my attention, didn't it? Just she knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah, she hasn't done that with me since she was a puppy, but then I'm alpha. Okay, some more.
Okay.
In a study by German researchers, Hergovich et al., 2011, the characteristics of individuals who own exotic pets were shown to be different from those of people who own more traditional pets, such as cats and dogs. For example, females with traditional pets scored lower on measures of openness to new experiences than females with cold-blooded exotic pets, such as fish, reptiles, spiders, and insects.
Openness to new experiences. Is that what you said?
Openness to new experiences.
Okay, so
One of
traditional is less open.
Yeah.
Okay,
If you have exotic pets, you're
more
more
open.
open to new experiences. That's the big 5 personality trait. Male owners of cold-blooded exotic pets scored lower on measures of agreeableness compared to males who own traditional pets. So males with exotic pets tend to be less agreeable, which we can't make it as true for every male with a,
Right.
but it's interesting as a trend.
It is interesting.
Kid and
You
kid.
always wonder which one comes first, just like the
Yep.
yeah, interesting.
Kid and Kid, 1998, 1999, asked participants to describe the characteristics of ideal pet owners. And they reported that patience was the most important trait identified by people with fish and birds.
Really? And you have birds.
I have birds. I've never had.
Yes, you have definitely have exotic birds, non-traditional. Not everybody has those, and you are patient. You actually are very patient.
Yeah, I think so, with animals anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I was volunteering at an exotic bird rescue every night for a few years and training and trying to socialize the birds so they could be adopted. And it takes a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel having patience. It feels like you're just kind of communing with the animal, trying to make the animal happier.
Aw.
I know.
Wow.
Here's more. Ideal pet owners were also said to be friendly and serene. I think because birds can emotionally overreact to everything.
Merlin.
That's yeah, a lot of birds.
Goodness. Yeah.
According to their earlier work in 83, bird owners tended to describe themselves as polite, expressive, and caring. I don't know that I'm polite, but I'm expressive and I'm probably caring.
You are polite, definitely, yes.
Not always.
Unless you can't be, like if somebody's not wearing their mask over their nose. But then you're still polite about asking them to, put it up there.
Not when I have to say it the third time.
Right.
It's required on my campus.
Yes.
Bird owners also showed high levels of nurturance and affiliation based on standard measures of these characteristics. So people who own birds tend to be very nurturing. They have a strong need to affiliate with others, not necessarily human. And this was true for individuals who reported that they fed the wild birds in their yards.
See, that just brought it home because I was like, what in the world would, how, the nurturing, because birds are not, well, some of them are. I actually had a parakeet when I was a kid, but that was cuddly. But birds typically aren't what you would think of as like a cuddly, snuggly, go to sleep with you kind of animal. And so I couldn't figure out why that's connected to what it was at the nurturing. But yes, now when you talk about feeding the wildlife and the birds outside, yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Well, Sasquatch, my Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
when it was cold in the house, I would sleep downstairs with him and he would be under the covers with me. And he's always wanting to snuggle. And bird people call it scritching when you scratch the top of their heads of a bird's head. That's what a lot of birds really like.
It's called scritching.
It's called scritching. Yes.
I've never heard of that. Nice.
I know. But Merlin, I think with my green-winged macaw, his whole body is pretty much naked. He's plucked all his feathers being in the exotic rescue facility and stressed. And maybe before that, because he was abused. Yeah. But my green wing is really wanting to be cuddly, but he's scared.
Right.
Oh, I didn't tell you what happened last night.
What?
With him. What was I doing? I was putting his food bowl into his cage when he was on the side of the cage, same side of the cage. So I opened the door and he started to come out and sit in the open doorway.
Really?
He's not coming out yet. I'm not comfortable. He's not comfortable there yet.
Yeah, but coming out to the open doorway is huge for him.
Yeah. And then he went back inside. I put the bowl there and I had the door open and I put my arm up
Oh,
and
man.
said, "You want to step up?" So he stuck his feet through the cage bars and stepped up onto my arm from inside. And
With the door open?
yeah, with the door open. And then I had my arm, I slid it over so it was partially in the open doorway. And
Mhm.
I said, "You want to step up?" And he started moving towards my arm in the open doorway.
Oh,
And
my
so
goodness.
I know I started talking to him and distracting him because I'm not ready for that. But he is, maybe.
Maybe.
I
We
don't
were
know
just
about,
talking about that. That's interesting. Wow, he must have heard us.
yeah, he's got a really big beak. So, and
Yeah.
he's entirely free of biting. So it's
Yeah.
a big deal when it happens, and it's going to happen.
Maybe you should invest in one of those gloves that they wear for falcons.
A falconry glove. Yeah.
Yeah.
More cautious about him sitting on my arm and biting my face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's not even talk about that. My goodness.
But, I would have to go to an emergency room. I would have to report him.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I don't want him on record as having.
Right.
I can deal with the wound, and I'm not that concerned about my looks anymore. So,
Yeah.
Where am I?
Oh, sorry. We were talking about
I just got it.
birds and tradition. Yes.
Okay, now we're at turtle owners, people who own turtles.
Turtle. Did you ever see that episode? Okay, never mind. Sorry.
What episode?
It's a Seinfeld episode where it was the funniest thing. And I'm not going to talk about it on your podcast because it's pretty popular though. But anyways, every time I think about turtles in my head, I hear turtle.
Okay.
Right.
Turtle owners describe themselves as rational, reliable, and goal-oriented.
Oh, the
Imagine,
tortoise and the hare. Okay.
unless they don't require a lot of care and you don't have to be all that nurturing. I've had turtles. You don't devote your life to them the way you do with some other species.
Right, exactly. I'm just interested because that kind of goes with that whole story of the tortoise and the hare, slow and steady wins the race.
Well, that could be it.
Hmm.
That is a cultural icon. All right, so we're into a whole new section of the book chapter.
Okay, so this was all of in one section. Now we're going into the same different section, same chapter, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's called anthropomorphizing and zoomorphizing.
Oh dear.
Anthropomorphizing means that you're giving human attributes to animals, trying to understand their behavior based on what you understand about human behavior. I don't know if I'm actually coining the word, but I'm talking about zoomorphizing. I try to understand how an animal thinks and how it perceives the world by assuming that it's viewing, say, my behavior through the lens of its own species.
Right.
Okay. So anthropomorphism refers to our tendency to attribute human qualities to non-human objects and animals. It is actually one of my own personal bugbears. Explaining non-human behavior by saying it's comparable to human behavior was taboo in my early animal behavior training back in the 70s and 80s. Yet, as a pet owner and an animal lover, I do it all day and every day, results in a dichotomy between my scientific self and my personal self.
Aww.
So I decided to examine more recent perspectives on anthropomorphism, particularly as it relates to pet ownership. Scientists have theorized that anthropomorphism originally evolved as an aid to hunting in our early ancestors, circa 2003. So understanding and predicting behavior of prey animals probably increased hunting success.
Yes, probably.
Okay. There are suggestions that anthropomorphism may be affected by neotenous characteristics, neotenous. I'm not quite sure how to say that. It's been a long time since I've heard it said. With some breeds of domestic dogs bred to resemble human babies with big eyes and round faces.
Aww.
I guess it's easier to anthropomorphize and maybe have a bond with an animal when it has the character of our species or babies of our own species.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, and even, you can look at animals of all types and see that little cuteness in them that, I don't know, maybe you turn it into like the cute baby kind of look, even though it's just not right there in your face, you know?
Yeah, I think quite a few dog breeds have been bred to look like human babies, to have those facial features.
Yeah,
Guys,
right.
isn't this why you like hippopotamus?
Oh, yeah. Love the hippopotamus. Yes, and it's probably because of their cute round faces with their big eyes. They're so
Where,
cute. Yeah.
where I'm sort of attracted to baby rhinoceroses.
I know. It's so funny because I just think hippopotamuses are adorable. And the rhino is very similar, only with a horn, but his eyes are different, in my opinion. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, smaller eyes.
Yeah, I think the
But
hippopotamus has more of a cow look.
I just saw a YouTube of a baby rhinoceros playing in somebody's
Aw.
home with their dog, and I just fell in love.
They're all so dang cute. Baby, anything is so cute.
Well, Fiona, I forget what zoo where she's located, but
Mhm.
I've been watching her grow up on Facebook from the time she got into the water the first time to
Aw,
it's just adorable.
I'm gonna
I
have to check that
figure out
out.
where
Yeah.
it's and show it to you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
According to some researchers, asking people to anthropomorphize, i.e., attribute intentions and emotions to presentations of robots or dogs with predictable versus unpredictable behavior showed that this tendency was significantly greater for unpredictable conditions. That's Waits et al. 2010. So you ask people to give human characteristics or think about either robots or dogs as having human characteristics.
Mhm.
And when people had trouble predicting the behavior of the robots or the dogs, they tend to anthropomorphize more.
Really?
They also showed that neuroimaging data, functional MRIs, were similar when participants were asked to mentalize human and non-human objects. So looking at brain activity,
Mhm.
there is no detectable difference, at least at this time, when people are asked to think about human or non-human objects.
Huh.
Yeah. Or people.
I wonder, because that's really, that in itself is interesting because, um, holding your Merlin's feather kind of lowers your blood pressure and this, that, and the other. So is that not tied in? I guess, I mean, your heart has its own electrical system, but that's just, you've fascinated me now.
On the other hand,
Mhm.
Hecht et al. 2012 tested the ability of dog owners in Budapest, Hungary, to read the guilty or not guilty appearances of their pets when the animals had been left alone with food on a table, possibly having consumed it. These pet were unable to successfully make such judgments about the bad behavior of their own dogs.
So say that again. I'm sorry. Who was that not able to make the
People were unable to detect when their dog looked guilty, based on whether it ate food
right?
wasn't supposed to while it was unattended. I think I can tell when my dog is looking guilty.
Well, Haney, she's so expressive. I think that yeah, you probably could. Yes. I think that she would just, from her reaction of, tearing up her toy, she is like probably after she's done something she knows is wrong, she probably has some sort of, something on her face just written all over it.
You saw her picture when she opened a Christmas present early, right?
Yeah, was that
was
cute to me? Oh my goodness. Yep.
And cute. She
Mhm.
doesn't get for these things.
Right. I don't know if I could tell Phoebe because, well, if she ate food up, which she never has done, but if she's not a big she wants you to share her food, your food with her, and if you put it on a fork before you give it to her, she likes it even more. But if you just throw it on the ground, it's not so special. So her taking food behind, just without me knowing it, I'm thinking How would she act afterwards? I don't think she would do it, but oh, I know. If she has an accident, yes, I do notice.
If she pees or poos on the floor?
Yes, that's what I notice, where she has a different look about her that I think, what have you done?
Her
Yeah.
little face, her forehead wrinkles, I make her worried and anxious, or
Oh, no, she's always, well, not always. There are times where she changes her little facial expression and relaxes her forehead. But usually, if she is looking at you or looking out the window, it's like she has something going on in her mind. Now, she was raised, we raised her, but she had no other dogs because we had already had our two cats. And one of our cats that's a little bigger than she is, Samson, is like her, they're both like brother and sister, typical sibling fights and rivalries and stuff. But anyways, she has actually, I've noticed, she makes these facial expressions that reminds me of his facial expressions, only when he's making it, it's because he is seeing something he wants to pounce on. So he lowers his head, he lowers his ears, everything kind of goes down. And, he's going into a stealth mode. Phoebe uses it. What I've noticed is when she's disgusted by something. So it's like, if she, like, if I'm sitting there and not inviting her to my lap, she stares at me with that look on her face because she's disgusted that I haven't, because she's the king of the house, so, or queen. But yeah, she's just looking at me like I'm just disgusting for sitting there without inviting her.
well, then you have learned to read Phoebe's facial.
I guess so. Why can't I just know the answer to your questions? I'm doing my around in a circle to get,
No, it's interesting. I also wonder if different breeds of dogs have different expressiveness levels, just because, I don't know, a sheep dog with all its, be hard to read its facial expressions, I would think.
Right. You're
Whereas
right.
a little barefaced dog might be easier.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because like especially like with Phoebe, her ear level, she has them straight up, she has them relaxed, she has one up, I mean, and that, which the one up thing I don't think she controls so much, but yeah, I've got some funny pictures of her I have to share with you. I think yes, I think that the whole, because Haney, I don't know, everything about Haney is, it's like in her eyes and in her mouth, and her
Yeah.
ears too, because when she's looking frisky or puppyish or whatever, her ears are really high and just cute as can be, I tell you. So yeah. And then the dogs,
Cute,
sheepdog.
but coming at you like a freight train.
Oh, I love when she goes and gets her little zoomies. It's so cute. I mean, she's huge and it's really scary when it comes to being in the path, but I love seeing her get that little feeling of joy that she wants just to run around the yard. And she sounds like a horse too.
I've actually trained her to stop on a dime.
And
But
that she does, yes. I mean, she has,
usually,
with Phoebe and her, just a few times we've let them, run in the backyard. And it's funny because they get into that little run and Phoebe zooms and goes right under the chair where Haney is, coming at 50 miles an hour and then all of a sudden stops right before the chair, thank goodness. But it's just amazing,
yeah, I love her zoomies too.
Yeah, I love zoomies. They're so cute.
Okay. Other researchers have provided evidence that loneliness is associated with the tendency to anthropomorphize and to describe pets as human-like. That's Epley et al. 2008. So those of us who have a tendency to anthropomorphize about animals are supposed to be lonelier than people who don't do it. And I don't know that that's true. I'm not lonely.
Yeah, I'm not lonely either.
In fact, researchers have shown that reminding people of their close, supportive human relationships resulted in a decreased tendency to anthropomorphize about animals. That's Bartz et al. 2016. So if you remind people about the people in their lives that are close to them, they are less likely to anthropomorphize about animals,
Really?
supposedly.
So are they saying that, people substitute animals for people?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's, I think, the suggestion or the assumption.
Interesting.
Looking back on my own research interests with animals, anthropomorphism has no doubt been a source of inspiration that motivated questions about similarities between human and non-human behavior, in combination with a well-trained effort to avoid assumptions about similarities in psychological processes or environmental factors while making comparisons between species. My early research involved mirror self-recognition in monkeys and chimpanzees, with the approach that these animals can learn the contingencies of mirror use by detecting similarities in appearance and movements between self and the mirror reflection.
Hmm.
So in the 1970s, there were quite a few mirror self-recognition studies with chimpanzees and monkeys, where a mark would be placed on the animal's face after they had been exposed to mirror images for at least a week. And the mark was placed while the animal was anesthetized. And then after it woke up, the question was, did the animal look in the mirror, see the mark on its face, and touch the mark?
Ah.
Which was interpreted as mirror self-recognition. And, with speculations about self-awareness, and even, is the animal aware that it's going to die eventually?
Oh, I honestly don't think that they're, sorry, this is my thought, which is not what your book review or your book is about, but I was just thinking about this what is it? I can't even pronounce it.
Pomorphism.
Anthropomorphism. Yeah. Making dogs, giving them human characteristics, this, that, and the other. I actually have found, and probably other people do as well, but, doing the opposite of thinking, I think that, dogs are great examples, of living for the moment, and I think that's what we should be doing, which, there goes my, what is it? The artisan. But yeah, living for the moment. And, time flies for us, maybe not as kids, it seemed like forever before we became an adult. But I think it has to do with that living in the moment thing. And with dogs, I know I've looked at Phoebe and the cats, and I think I need to learn how to do that, where you're just there right then, and the the fact that they may die, which I don't even like saying that to them, that's not in the moment, so that's kind of part of being happy.
So it's not worrying about the future or feeling guilty about or inadequate from the past.
Right. It's about what
Right now.
Mm-hmm. Matilda just entered. Oh my goodness, she's right here in front of the microphone. Say hi, Matilda. I wish you could see her. She really is. I'm going to take a picture. I know. Okay. So, she just see Matilda. By the time I get the little camera open on the, here we go. Oh no, come on. By the time you get the phone camera open, she moves, and okay. I don't think that's going to work. But anyway.
I'm trying to take a picture of Hayden snoring and kicking her feet in her sleep.
Aw.
Before I get the camera out.
Yes. Can you hear her purring, by the way? At all?
No.
No? She's
Put
right.
her close.
She was like an inch away from the microphone. Interesting. Okay.
And your blood pressure is lowering, right?
Yes, it is. I'm petting her. She's on the desk. Uh-oh. She might knock over the microphone, which will make, okay. Let's get back to your book. I do apologize.
If we're trying to have a completely professional.
I know, right? And she's got her DuPa all over my notebook because now I can't write my little notes.
That's okay.
Oh, all right. Now let me hold her. That'll be better. Okay.
Sorry. Personally, I do not assume that higher level cognitive processes, such as some special sort of awareness of self or an awareness that oneself will eventually die were necessarily related to the use of the mirror as a tool to view objects indirectly.
Hmm.
Those sorts of questions are intriguing, but they require other methods of investigation.
I agree.
Human children learn how to use mirrors as tools early in life, and there are probably additional factors that develop over time, such as learning to make comparisons between one's own appearance and cultural standards of beauty. Perhaps a dog, cat, monkey, or chimpanzee could learn to make these judgments about their own attractiveness relative to others through carefully designed experiments. But would we really wish it on them?
No,
No.
I wouldn't wish it on them.
Sometimes under the perceptions of dogs when their conformity is being assessed at dog shows.
Mm-hmm.
How much do they actually understand about these procedures and the judgments regarding their bodies and appearances?
Oh, I hope they don't understand.
I do too. At the very least, I suppose dogs are aware when their handlers or owners are pleased or displeased with them. So it may just be that they don't know why their owner's displeased with them.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
They're the wrong size, but
Yeah.
they know when people are displeased.
I don't think, and I've never known somebody who has shown animals, or dogs or cats or guinea pigs. Believe it or not, we have a guinea pig from a long line of show guinea pigs. But anyways,
I didn't know.
yeah, Fogey. Yep, he definitely is. He's got the long hair, and we got him up here at Critter Hut. But anyways, shame on the humans that are disappointed with their pets for not winning. I think it's more about the humans losing than the pets.
The human ego.
Mhm.
Although I have heard anecdotes about dogs that preferred to win shows, but it could be just the reactions of the owners and handlers that are
Right.
so. I don't think Haney would care.
No, she would not. It would not matter.
Okay, so my approach to understanding primate mirror behavior was met with criticism and even, I will say it, some hostility from fellow animal behavior researchers at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I disagreed that only chimpanzees self-recognize in mirrors, while monkeys did not.
So that's what you're saying, that chimpanzees were the only ones that did?
The prevailing belief was that some chimpanzees will self-recognize with the mark test, while monkeys do not. But I had a monkey that did, and another one had a monkey that did, but we kind of lost the argument. I think because when you tape a chimpanzee doing the mark test, they move slowly and deliberately, and it's easy to morphize about it. But monkeys have really rapid movements, and so a rapid hand movement to the mark,
right,
and complete loss of interest afterwards.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
It was viewed as a negative result, whereas I kind of knew it was positive.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Since then, I've moved on to research problems related to human behavior. Still, the topic of anthropomorphism seems pervasive in my personal and professional activities. While communicating on Facebook with the public about training the birds at a bird rescue where I volunteered, I deliberately and knowingly anthropomorphized about each bird, giving it human-like qualities such as sadness, grief, happiness, and especially joy when they found their forever homes.
Yeah.
This was bad science, but good for the birds. It also felt truthful based on my own human perceptions of these animals.
Right.
Now, living with my own rescued parents, I'm always wondering how they perceive the human activities around them. Like, do my cats think my behavior is odd because it's not what a cat do? And Merlin, my rescued green-winged macaw, is one of the most cognitively complex animals I've ever handled, more so than a chimpanzee, by the way.
Wow.
So whenever I come home with bags of groceries, including Merlin's favorite treats, presuming Merlin even thinks about it, he may view me as one of the best human foragers he's ever met.
Aw.
Following his many years in a financially struggling exotic bird rescue facility.
Mm-hmm.
Coining a new phrase, maybe, I'm not sure if it's unique, perhaps we should speak of zoomorphism if Merlin interprets my behavior through the lens of his own species.
Yeah.
All of my
Yeah.
when they see the vacuum, because I carefully trained this in order to make sure that the loud noise of the vacuum did not scare them.
Mhm.
Do they therefore think that vacuuming is one of my favorite pastimes
I think they do.
while doing it? Or do they know at a deeper level that I'm just trying to make loud noises less scary for them?
You know,
Yeah.
the fact that when I was over there years ago and vacuumed for you, not knowing of your singing ritual, while I was vacuuming, they were all, especially Merlin, screaming on the top of their lungs at me. And then you yelled from upstairs, sing, sing. And I did, which I thought was odd, but no. So anyway, when I started singing, they stopped screaming. So I wonder if that answers your question as far as, well, maybe they were telling me I wasn't doing it right because I wasn't singing, or, that did actually calm them down a bit to sing with loud noises.
Well, I think my animals expect certain rituals, and when people gate, like when you come over, it's very upsetting for them.
Right, and I'm not doing it right if I don't, sing, and that upsets them.
They're actually interpreting your behavior in the context of my behavior.
They're doing what?
They're interpreting what your behavior should be in the context of what my behavior is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what humans should do. They should sing while they vacuum.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Obviously, anthropomorphism can be rampant when you live with highly intelligent animals such as parrots.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, some of the recent research regarding the role of anthropomorphism in pet ownership really surprised me. It seems logical to expect that anthropomorphism plays a major role in our interactions with pets. Yet Bao and Schreer, 2016, reported that there was no significant difference in anthropomorphism as a trait between pet owners and people without pets. Again, I'm shocked. People who have pets and people who do not have pets do not differ in their levels of anthropomorphism.
That is so strange.
That is so wrong.
Yes, it is. I think it is. Yes.
They also showed that well-being derives from having pets.
Being?
That the well-being that derives from
well-being. Sorry.
is not related to levels of anthropomorphism. So the fact that I anthropomorphize and you anthropomorphize about Haney and Phoebe, respectively,
right,
not related to our well-being. We're not happier because we do anthropomorphize.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I doubt that. These researchers also investigated whether certain types of pets elicit more anthropomorphic behaviors from their owners. Apparently, dressing up your pets and talking to them, which is anthropomorphizing, people who do those things, who humanize their pets that way, do so more with dogs and cats.
Yeah.
And that the tendency is significantly associated with positive emotions.
The tendency to dress them is?
Yeah, the tendency to dress up our pets. We do it more with dogs and cats, and it makes us happy.
Well, I wonder if it makes them so happy. I think some dogs enjoy getting fancy. Like Haney.
Yeah.
When you take your pictures of her dressed up, I think she actually enjoys it because she is. Every picture you've taken, I can't imagine how else you would make her smile other than her naturally being happy that she was in fancy clothes.
She loves dressing up for sure, but she likes it for brief periods. Halloween, Easter with bunny ears.
Right. Yeah. St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
Oof.
But what about Phoebe?
With Phoebe, well, I dress her for, to go out in the winter time because she doesn't have, all the fur, although she has the fat that Minnie has, but at night when it's really cold out, I will put little booties on her, and she has like a sweater, a thin sweater that you can put under this like parka type coat that has fur around the hood. And I don't know why I think that is the cutest thing ever. She appreciates it now that she's used to wearing her little snow boots as well. But I don't typically dress her unless it's for warmth or something. And that, I think to myself, I should dress her more often. And I think she would be okay with it because, she would keep her sweater on all day. She likes to be cozied up in a blanket or anything. So that sweater, I think, makes her feel comfortable, but yeah.
I seem to remember a picture of Phoebe in reindeer ears at Christmas time.
Oh, I made a funny hat for her. Yeah, I knitted a hat and it had two big pom-poms on her head. Yeah, that was funny. Yes.
Okay, so you do dress up your pet. Don't deny it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. But yeah. And yes, it does. And it makes me happy. And then I take a picture because if I don't do it again, I still have the picture. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have one more little area of research here.
Okay.
And I saved it to last because I think it's really interesting and kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where is it? Paper published by Flora et al. 2017. And basically what they were doing was seeing if dogs showed contagious yawning.
Oh.
And when dogs did, they decided that it was a sign of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I first read this paper, I got very excited and I tried it with Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
I yawned in her face several times, and she yawned back at me every single time.
Really?
So based on the author's assumptions, this means my dog is empathetic, whereas I kind of know she isn't particularly empathetic. I love her, not empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, other researchers have been interested in the contagious yawning in dogs, but dubious about whether it is a sign of empathy. For instance, prior research with humans has shown that you're going to be more empathetic with familiar versus unfamiliar people. Mm-hmm. And contagious yawning doesn't show the same pattern. And,
really?
And there are a number of reasons to be dubious about whether this is a sign of empathy or not. But right. I think that contagious yawning is fascinating. Did you ever try it with Phoebe?
I was just thinking, I can't really do that because Phoebe, she's such a little nervous Nelly sometimes that one of the things that happens when she's uncomfortable with the situation because she's not in control of it is she does this yawn over and over. So it's like a little nervous tick when she's just uncomfortable. And so I'm not sure if I yawned and she yawned back, if my yawning in her face was making her nervous that she did it, or if she showed
okay, so, good.
I don't know if that would be able to be done on Phoebe.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I made Haney nervous when I yawned in her face. She doesn't get nervous about things.
Haney is definitely, I could imagine Haney being empathetic, yes.
Yeah. Well, no, Haney's not particularly empathetic. If I stub my toe or hurt myself, she's oblivious.
Yeah, Merlin. Does Merlin scream out if you do something
Merlin,
like that?
Merlin laughs when I
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Merlin, my green macaw, laughs when I hurt myself.
Yeah.
And, I love both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not whether they show empathy or not, but I did have a cat who was incredibly empathetic at one point.
Gosh.
My Gosh cat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was my soulmate,
mm-hmm.
But she was like so empathetic in a way that I think shows real empathy. It's rare for me to cry, but I was crying one day with tears rolling down my face. Mm-hmm. And she jumped up next to me, stood up on hind legs in front of me and put one paw on each side of my face and stared at me.
Aww.
And then when the dog was whimpering once, she did the same thing to the dog. She stood on her hind legs and stared into the dog's face with one paw on each side of the dog's face.
Oh, she was magical. Yes.
She also stole knives from the dishwasher and walked off.
Yeah, she did. Good Lord, I remember that. Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to explain that behavior without anthropomorphizing and saying she's incredibly empathetic. It's just,
Right.
but what about your animals? Are they empathetic?
Um, I don't know. It's so hard to, I know I'm thinking, okay, so Phoebe, she kind of picks up on the vibe of the house. So if there's a lot of tension going on, actually does that make them empathetic? If they are, they all act a little crazy if it's tense in the house, or they just pick up on the vibe, really happy. Sometimes Samson, the tuxedo, he'll, play chase and funny stuff, when
Well, that
everybody's in it.
could be just reactive and not have
Yeah,
an internalized
right.
response to someone else's expression of emotion.
Right. I don't know. Like when we're sick and not feeling well, I know that, I don't know, would this be the reactive response as well when we're sick and not feeling well? Phoebe and Samson especially will actually fight over who gets to be close to the person.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm not sure if I don't know what that is. It's nice,
it is nice. Mine don't do that.
Aw, yeah, but Phoebe and Samson are the ones. They're the
Yeah.
ones who tend to pick up on, the room vibe or if somebody's sick or something. And Matilda, well, I shouldn't be saying all these names. Matilda is like Gosh was to you, Matilda is to my middle child. So she is all about my middle daughter. So she doesn't really care about anybody else right now.
So depending on your middle child,
Yes.
her moods and behaviors, she only focuses on them, and she could be empathetic.
Yes, she could, yeah, because she actually, she's her little shadow, and it's funny to see a cat follow somebody. Yes, she will stomp down the stairs. Now, this kitty cat weighs she was probably 5 pounds. She's tiny, and she makes the biggest stomps down the stairs that you think it's a person, but she's stomping on the stairs, and it's usually after Sydney, if Sydney's in a hurry, and, Matilda, I said her name, there you go. Matilda,
Yep.
I was doing really well. Matilda is hasn't seen her in a while or is upset that she's leaving again. She will stomp down the stair. She gets a different look on her face. I might be anthropomorphizing, but
Haney's 140 plus, won't say how many plus pounds. And normally you hear her thumping around the house, but she can get upstairs when she wants to do something like go open a Christmas present without me being aware that she's doing it.
Do you know, I would have a hard time believing that because of just looking at her. She looks like she would just be loud, but I actually was there that time, which you said that she's done it more, but yes, I swear to God, I feel like she tiptoes down the stairs. I don't even know how she can get down the stairs without making a sound.
Yeah, and I have a creaky step. I have an old house and creaks. You lived here, you know.
The steps to avoid because honestly, she's such a big and heavy dog. And you can hear most dogs, you can hear them walking on the floor just because of their toenails or whatever it is. And my God, she was like insanely quiet. I had no clue that she had gone downstairs. Not a little tiny bit.
So I know. And so does that mean that she's aware of what we can hear?
That is interesting because then that means it's like what is that called? Premeditated. She's actually aware of it. So she is going to be extra quiet so that she can get to her crime.
Yeah, or
they're opening Christmas presents.
Yeah, which means she gets more because then I have to go shopping.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
Or it could just be that she's learned that if she walks this way, to say, where are you going?
Yeah, she's pretty smart. Yep, there you go.
I knew she was smart when she was a puppy. She had just gotten tall enough to see over the countertop in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And I was using a blender to make mash for the parrots.
Right.
Had gotten all the stuff into the blender and I was pushing the button to grind it up.
Yeah.
And she was watching so closely next to me that I didn't think about it. I stood aside and I said, okay, if you're so interested, you do it.
Oh my
And
goodness.
she pushed that button with her little muzzle.
Really?
And blender to work.
Aw.
And it
That's
scared.
crazy. Yeah, that is very smart. And the way she can, when you ask her how the weather is outside, if it's snowing, and she's an amazing dog.
Yeah. If you're hungry, come give me a kiss. She's looking at me now. Want from me?
Oh,
Anyway,
Huh.
that end of this chapter. It's not a very nice ending yet, but overall, should I continue working on it?
I think that you should, because this is all very interesting. And I'm wondering if anybody is listening to this. I'm wondering what their experience is with with the research that you have included, what their experiences are with their little pets,
That would be interesting. I would love to read some comments. Should we ever have listeners?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's okay if we don't, because this is too fun,
All right. So shall we sign off?
I think that would be great. And I will talk to you later.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.